Now, if you want to build a physique that's big, muscular, lean, shredded, but without taking any special sauce, shall we say, most people would still do like the bulks and cuts. I'm not even saying there's anything wrong with those things because I personally do enjoy them and I've done them for years. However, over the past few years, I've kind of done something a little bit different. Instead of just going, right, I want to gain size, let me just eat loads and loads of food, loads of calories, eat big to get big, right, babe, and then just try and pack on loads of muscle, but also a lot of body fat. I've tried to refrain from doing that. And then on the flip side, when most people think of a cut, they just think, right, I need to lose weight, let's drop those calories right down, massive calorie deficit, loads of cardio. You end up just like, not getting an erection, running out of strength, performance, energy, your mindset's horrible, you get headaches, you just become this grumpy, horrible person. You kind of suffer, right? People want to feel like they're starving, to feel like they're actually losing body fat. And people often jump between this kind of extreme bulk, loads of calories, loads of food, basically just get fat. And then at the end of it, they got to do this very reluctant cut where they lose all the strength and size. And a lot of times they lose a lot of muscle as well. At least I have, and a lot of people I've, helped have also lost a lot of muscle and size in the past. So this whole jumping from cut to bulk, I normally call it like the bro cycle. Some people do a bulk for a short amount of time and then a cut for a short amount of time because they go on the bulk, see the body fat go up and think, crikey, I don't want this. They go on to a cut and then go, oh, my gains, get back on the bulk. So they either do too short of a cut and too long of a bulk, or they do too extreme of a bulk and too extreme of a cut, which means they end up, gaining 10 pounds of muscle and losing 10 pounds of muscle sometimes. Over the years, I've been guilty of doing this myself. A lot of times it just led me to get nowhere. It's 2 steps forward and 2 steps back. And I really struggled to make any sort of progress, right? So here's some I almost broke my chair. Bulk's going too well. So I put up 2 photos here. I kind of went on a bulk and I went on a cut, went on a bulk, went on a cut, and I kind of just look the same, right? And I do know of a few people that have great physiques, don't get me wrong, but for the past 6 years, they've just looked the same because they've done a bulk, gotten bigger, done a cut, gotten smaller, and they've weighed the same. So ultimately, spinning their plates, getting nowhere. So with that in mind, what should you do instead? What is a better solution? Drugs, mate. No, I'm joking. What I would suggest is doing a recomposition, right? Which you could argue, I've had people drop comments going, that's a cut, mate. That's a cut. And yeah, sure, it is. Like, a cut's a blanket statement. It's a calorie deficit, right? Still. But instead of going for a big calorie deficit, lots of cardio like most people do when they do a cut, dropping the carbs, going for the salads, it's a slight calorie deficit. You basically keep the training the same, you keep your macros the same, maybe a slightly higher bit of protein, and you just drop the calories down somewhere between 300, 500 calories below your maintenance. There's nothing really magical about this, but all that means is instead of going into a 1,000 calorie deficit where you're at risk of losing size, strength, performance, and muscle, you're eating a slight calorie deficit, so you're able to have a bit more performance, a little bit more recovery speed, just generally a better experience overall. You might be thinking, well, surely, mate, a bigger deficit means faster results, but a lot of times you'll lose muscle with that as well. And I find that having a smaller calorie deficit means it's easier to stick to long term. You retain a hell of a lot more performance and muscle, and then you can gradually, slowly drop those calories down as and when needed when your results start to plateau. And that way, it's just generally healthier because you have more energy for a longer time. You retain more muscle because it's not as extreme and drastic. And I mean, who doesn't want to diet on slightly more calories, right? So if I have body fat I want to lose, or you're starting out with body fat you want to lose, or you're just the typical skinny fat physique, starting with a recomposition is just absolutely going to be, the best case scenario, I'd say, for most people. So next time you think you need to do a cut, instead of go, right, I'm on 3,500 calories, let's drop it down to 1,500, let's do loads of cardio, all this kind of stuff, and then struggle and feel like crap, and then lose a lot of muscle. Work out your maintenance, drop 500 calories off and start from there and see how you get on. And you'd be very surprised how much muscle you'd keep this time round. I'm not trying to say this is going to work for every single person because, everyone's different. Fitness is there's a million ways to skin a cat, or whatever the saying is. So when people say, this is the only way, bro, carnivore, only keto, mate, keto, it's the best way, right? No. It might work for some people, but the majority of people, they're going to get constipated and feel like crap and have a headache. So slight calorie deficit. Now, also paired with that cut, again, what do people do? They think, right, let's go on the treadmill, mate. Let's do loads of running, loads of cardio. And I'm not knocking that. Cardio is great. It's fantastic. And if you enjoy that, do it. But a lot of guys do it and go, man, I hate this. I can't stick to the cardio. I'm losing all my strength. I'm losing all my size. Cool. Don't do the cardio then. Focus on strength training, lifting heavy enough weights. And I'm not talking about one rep maxes, because doing that in a calorie deficit is just silly. But keeping strength, having maybe a 5x5 system, focusing on increasing the weight, or at least keeping the weight as you drop your weight, right? Power to weight ratio is still going to help you basically get stronger, right? If you increase your power to weight ratio, you're still doing well in terms of strength. Training with strength is going to help you retain more muscle. You're still exerting a lot of calories, and it gives your body a bias to wanting to keep more muscle and strength to be able to lose that body fat. Yes, it's still kind of a cut, but it's kind of approaching it in a slightly different way that's a little bit more optimal to losing body fat, having a better quality existence. You know, it's better for your health overall, and you're going to see better results. Now, you might be thinking, well, who are you to say this, mate? You got a mid physique, and yeah, I do. But, you know, this is my transformation so far, completely natural with rubbish genetics. And, you know, I'll be honest with you, I made a lot of mistakes for the first 6 years, and this is one of them, jumping from cuts to bulk to extreme, right? The first bulk I did was okay, and then I lost all that size pissing about doing the wrong things. But I've also helped over 100 skinny fat men do the same thing, lose the stubborn body fat, gain muscle, and a lot of these people have done that in the recomp. Having a slightly smaller calorie deficit with the right training plan, guidance and structure and overload, these people have still been able to gain a significant amount of muscle whilst being in a calorie deficit. So basically this whole point in this video is to say, hey, here's what I've learned from helping over 100 men do this naturally with no drugs, no faffs, no fads, no one size fits all, no BS. And this seems to work really, really well. So I want to put this information out there. That's the recomp side of things. That's losing body fat instead of doing a massive cut. Now, don't get me wrong, over time, you'll have to increase that calorie deficit because you'll get metabolic adaptation, your body will get used to it, and you might have some stubborn areas that just need that little bit off. So you could either add some extra cardio in that way to shave off those extra calories, or drop your calories a little bit at a time and monitor your weigh-ins and photos. Now, what about bulking? How would we go about that? Now, first things first, and you know, I might get some hate for this, but I'm just saying, I want to be authentic and say what I truly think. It's very important that you don't start your bulk with body fat you don't want. So if you're, skinny fat, or you got a belly that you don't like, or a double chin or lower, but any area that you're thinking, oh, this area is really bugging me and it's knocking my confidence, going on a bulk is just silly because those areas are going to get worse before they get better. And you're also going to shorten the life of the bulk because there's only so much body fat you're willing to add before you think, right, now I need to go on a cut. And if you bulk for 2 months and you think, love handles are getting massive, I need to go on a cut, 2 months of a bulk isn't really going to give you significant muscle size. Maybe if it's your first one, but you might as well maximize the first one. So instead of going right into a calorie surplus, I do think you need to make sure you get lean first. So I would always recommend you start with a recomposition, because if you're brand new, you can actually still gain muscle doing this. If you're not brand new and you're really skinny, you just want to add size, cool, start with a bulk. Now, with this bulk that we mentioned, everyone says eat big to get big. And there's a lot of truth to that, because that was one of my main mistakes when I first started. I wasn't eating enough. I was training significantly. I was taking creatine. I was having protein powder. I was doing all the pre-workouts, and I was having all these multivitamins, and my piss was bright yellow from all the B vitamins, but nothing was happening, right? I didn't even really get stronger, to be honest with you, and I was super consistent and I was training really hard. One thing that was missing is I was not eating enough calories to grow. So yes, eat big to get big is a thing, but what a lot of dudes do is they go, right, my maintenance is 3,000, so I'm going to eat 5,000. Let's go, 5,000. And they eat tremendous amounts of calories over what their maintenance is, and they go up on the scales from all the carbs, glycogen and food, and then they start to feel like shit. They're sluggish. They might get great workouts and great pumps, but over time they start to gain a significant amount of body fat. And some people don't care, they just carry on and just get fat, and that's cool. All the power to you if that's what you want to do, and I have done that at least once myself, which I do regret. Or you could be healthier and have a slight calorie surplus and grow and bulk for a lot longer throughout the year. So instead of just getting your cholesterol through the roof and getting fat and looking like shit just so you can do a big deadlift, you can do a lean bulk. And when I say lean bulk, I'm not saying, oh, don't gain body fat in your bulk, be scared, oh, it's a bit of fat. I'm not saying be that silly and that worried about gaining body fat, but you certainly don't need to pack on pounds and pounds and pounds of fat that you're only going to have to spend months and months and months getting off, and try not to lose body fat, right? Dirtier the bulk, the longer the cut at the end of it, and the longer the cut, the more risk of muscle loss and going catabolic at the end of it. So a lean bulk, plain and simple, a 300, 500 calorie surplus. Work out your maintenance, add a small amount of calorie surplus, weigh yourself daily, take progress photos each week, and you'll soon start to see if it's enough or not. And I've done this with clients where they've been able to bulk for like 12 months and they're still lean. They still can see their abs. Don't get me wrong, they're not as lean as when they started, but they've gained significant pure lean muscle throughout the process. And a lot of people refer to this as main gaining, and I like that. It's great. The majority of the year looks like this for me. I normally bulk for like 9 to 12 months, and I'll do a recomposition for like 2 months, 3 months, sometimes 4 if I've overdone it on the bulk, right? And that just means that you can spend the majority of the year adding size, working on your proportions, building up weak areas, eating more realistic foods. You can actually have a good social life and be flexible with it without having to stuff your face full of pizzas and trying to, eat big to get big and dirty bulk and take years off your life. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's kind of bulking and cutting, but I see it as do a recomp, get lean and keep strength and muscle and size, and then do a reverse diet to your maintenance, and then slowly, gradually build up those calories. And that way you'll be lean throughout the year. I mean, I'm probably going to do like an update on this on my channel, not that anyone really gives a shit, but I've just finished a probably 9-month bulk. And I'm going to bulk for 1 more month because I want to get as much out of it as possible. And then I'm going to do a 2 to 4 month mini recomposition, right? So I've added as much muscle as I can naturally without going too over the scales for body fat. And then I'm going to do a little recomp just to get lean ready for summer. And I'll probably document it on here because I just find it fun. And I think it helps my clients being able to see what I'm doing. And it just means that I'm always kind of a few months away for being in peak physical shape, which means, you know, when you've got a mate's wedding, when you've got a holiday, birthday parties, your own wedding, family events, just looking good and feeling good in your clothes and feeling at your best. It's kind of the default once you've done it that way. So I understand a lot of people might, you know, misinterpret what I'm saying. Oh, that's still cutting and bulking. But like I said at the beginning, most people cut and they just drop the calories down too dramatically and do loads of cardio and lose muscle. Most people go on a bulk and they just yeet their calories up. I've seen dudes with like big beer bellies that hate it and they go, oh, I want to get rid of this. I want to get rid of this. If I had some like generic Kirkland freaking Temu coach, they're like, yeah, bro, we're bulk so we can lose fat easier. And then they get fat and they go, yeah, I hate this. And I'm eating, you know, 4,800 calories. I'm like, why? Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of misinformation out there. And the reason for that is some people just look good already, right? Some people are born with great physiques. They go to the gym a little bit, they get big and they think, I should be a personal trainer. And then they get clients and they ain't got a clue. That's not all of them, of course, but I've definitely encountered a lot of those myself. And I've worked with clients that have come from coaches like that as well. My message here is do a recomposition, reverse that into a lean bulk. And that way you can grow for the majority of the year, avoid gaining excess body fat, keep it healthy and make it more sustainable and keep within arm's reach of being in your best physical shape. So it's just easier and better and more optimal, in my opinion, of course. If you want to know more about this, obviously there's more videos on my channel. You can ask any questions on my Instagram at Elite Transformation Project. And if you want to work with me one-to-one as a coach, because that is what I do, and that's what I've done with all these people here that help transform their physiques. Some of these transformations are achieved in as little as 11 weeks, which is crazy. And I don't like saying that, to be honest with you, because I hate people, 6-second abs, guys, 2-second fucking shreds. No, but some of them are done in 11 weeks just because of how quick we implement the strategy and get to work, basically. And some of them, 12 months. There's some significant transformations being achieved by following this kind of process. So I kind of wanted to put a little bit of a YouTube video out there, just sort of talking through it, give my 2 cents on it. Maybe a bunch of people go mad in the comments telling me I'm an idiot and I got a mid physique. Might be true, actually, but this is my opinion. This is what has worked for over 100 men and women, to be fair. And if this helps one person, then I've done my job. So yeah. And if you do want to work with me one-to-one, there is a link to book a call with me in the bio. Failing that, you can ask any questions at Elite Transformation Project. And if you want to work out your calories and numbers so you get that right off the bat, there's also a free nutritional blueprint in the bio that you can use to work out those numbers. Anyway, have a great day.